we discussed about working with iterations. One example I showed you on iterations. So that means how to use the structural directive ngFor. ngFor, we learned how to use nested also. So this is one approach we discussed about it. After understanding how to use it, we need to know some more important properties for that. We need to understand the properties of this ngFor structural directive. So what are the properties and how we can use them? Technically, the properties of the members of ngFor directive. What are the members available for ngFor directive and how we can use them? So when we are working with ngFor, some important members of ngFor. So what are the members? Let's see. We have the members like index is a member of ngFor. Actually, index it returns the iterator index number. That means iterator index number means in the iteration which occurrence index it is. That means is it first iteration? Is it second? Is it third? So that means the item which is repeating, its index number will be accessible. That means it returns the repeating item index number in iterator. That means it returns the repeating item index number in iterator. In iterator, if an item is repeating, it returns its index number. So which index it is? That means, for example, here, this is the design we done. Electronics, it is at 0. Fashion, it is at 1. That gets the index number. Now in electronics, again we have 0 and again we have 1 like that. So that means it returns the index number of that particular item. Index number of the particular item in an iteration. So when to use them, that we are going to learn. We are going to understand. So we will see some examples for that. We will see some example. How do we use the index and how do we work with the index? I will show you. Next we have first and we have last. First means it returns true if the current item is the first item in iteration. Means in iteration, if the item is the first item, then it returns true. Similarly, last, it returns true if the current item is the last item in iteration. That means we can identify whether the item which is being repeated is the first one or last one. We can even identify it is odd or it is even. So these are all Boolean values. That means it returns true if the current item is in odd occurrence, like 1, 3, 5, 7, like this. It returns true if the current item is in even occurrence. If it is in even occurrence, it returns true if it is in even occurrence. So the odd occurrence and the even occurrence. And we have options like track by. Actually, it is a function. That verifies whether any change occurred, in iterator, or you can say that any change occurred in collection. It starts the iteration. And performs only for newly added item. Track by is actually a function that verifies whether any change occurred in collection or not. It starts the iterator and performs only for the newly added item if any item occurred. That means whenever we are adding new items into collection, it will not repeat the existing ones again. It will add only the new things. That is what actually the nature of single page environment. In single page environment, when a new detail is coming, it should not load everything again. It should update only that new detail, means asynchronous. So you can simply say that it will perform the iteration asynchronously, means only the changes are iterated. That means only the new items added into it are iterated. We will see one example how to handle that. We will see how we can manage that. We will see. So initially, so these are all the properties. These are all the members: index, first, last, even, odd, track by. These are all the members of the iterator. How to use them, how they will work, that we will see step by step. Actually, index, it returns number. It is a number. First, last, even, odd, these are Boolean. And track by is a function. So these are the members of for. Generally, how we can use them, actually, syntactically, how to use them. Suppose you are performing iteration, that means ngFor let item of collection. Here we have to put a semicolon and we need to use those properties. So index is going to return the index number of iterating items. Then you have to collect and store in a variable let I is equal to index like this.